Welcome everyone. So, today's topic is very dear to us all. Meditation. So, how many people do meditation in this group? So, I want to keep it little interactive. So, those who are there, yeah, you just raise your palms. So, a lot of those. Wonderful. So, now the second question is how many people do regular meditation 2 times a day? A lot more. So, how many knows the real science behind meditation? So, have anybody done some research or has background knowledge? Okay, so let's start with a simple story. So there was a old man, and he called his only son to say, "When I'm not there, so what can I do for you, which will help you to be happy when I'm not there?" So the son said, "Oh, that's so easy." He took a piece of paper and then he wrote there, "I need a house, I need a job, I need money, I need a car," and so on. And then he passed it on to his father. And the father was a very smart, witty person. So he took a red pencil and he drew a big circle on his son's list. And in the big two letters, he wrote on the list, health and happiness. So now, do we see the son in us who wants so many things? And then we also see the father in us who knows the importance of health and happiness. So this whole idea of meditation came to reach out to the source of who we are, define the source, cultivate the source, and then use it for our own growth and benefit to reach the optimal bliss. Now we are on the very fortunate platform, Anand Marg. So that also means the path to the bliss. So how to achieve that, how to stay on the path. So this topic is very dear to me, basically because it unfolds us the depth, why we meditate, what might be the benefits of meditation, how to cultivate the habit in long run, and so on. So I will share the slides. So we'll go through the slides and then we'll have interactive connection with each other. Can everybody see the slide?
Yes, we can see it. Thank you.
So what meditation comes from a long-term ancient wisdom and science, which emphasizes the interdependence of mind and body. So it also asserts that mind has far more profound influence on the body than that the body on the mind. So that means the mind over the matter. It also employs various mental and physical techniques to attain the harmony of body, mind, and spirit together. So when we look at ourselves, we are the integral unit of our mind, our body, and spirit together. Now, most of the times we do experience that my body is here, but my mind is somewhere else. Then my mind is somewhere else and body is somewhere else. So suppose if I am in the office, I'm thinking of home. When I am at home, I'm thinking of office. So is there anything which I can do where I am living in the moment and into the present? So we talked about the happiness, the mental peace. So, mental peace, to reach the mental peace, we need to gain control over the thoughts, action, behavior, and nature. So, whatever comes in our mind as a thought becomes an action. Whatever we act periodically becomes our behavior, and then the repeated behavior form our nature or our persona, and that's how we become. Now, the first question comes to our mind is we clean the body, so do we clean the mind? So, anybody, how many think it's necessary to do both? Wonderful. So, now the second question comes to that is how to clean the mind. So, anybody want to answer it? You can put your answers in the chat as we go. I can see them. So, let's see what are the answers from you. Very good. So, through meditation, rest and restore through the prayer, meditation and action. Wonderful answers. So, keep writing. So, more you involve in this presentation, more we will gain. Take a walk. Meditation, relax, drink water, meditation. Wonderful. So all those answers are correct. And whatever method we choose, but we are focused more on the meditation into this one. And that's the main theme is the art of non-doing. So since we wake up in the morning, we start the activity. And then we start thinking, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And then we start running one after other. And then when we take a pause, and when we take a pause and we do nothing. So if I ask you the same question since morning, what are you doing? What are you doing? Then you keep saying, I am eating, I am sitting, I am drinking. Is there any time when we are not doing anything? Maybe that's something we can call it meditation, where we at rest, but same time we are fully awake, fully alert into the state. So now what happens in this process? These are the simple ideas. First thing, we want to know who we are, connect who we are, and then also giving deep rest to the mind, and then create the synergy where we balance our mind. So I'll repeat again. First thing is to knowing ourselves, giving rest to the mind, and then also creating the balanced state of our mind. Now, here is a common research which is available now with the time. So, these are all the areas where a lot of science research is available to prove that meditation has a lot of benefits. So, the most common reduce stress and anxiety, enhance brain function, improved cardiovascular health, for depression, and other things like PTSD, that means post traumatic stress disorder, insomnia, addiction, pain reduction, workplace efficiency and productivity, academic performance, intelligence, creativity and learning ability, healthcare cost and utilization, integration of personality, longevity, free radicals, metabolic syndrome like pre-diabetes, and criminal rehabilitation. So as you can see, it has a very wide spectrum. So meditation is not just considered nowadays as something you do for peace of mind, but you can see it affects every aspect of us, the environment, so where we work, also the academic environments, the healthcare institutes, and also on the where we do the rehab for many levels. So the even for criminals, so justice system can make use of this wonderful tool for enhancing overall well-being of not only individual but also for the society. So when we look at the definitions, so here are some common definitions of meditations, so which refers to variety of things. I'm not going to read it. So, but the science, so how it defines into from the modern perspective. Now we bring to a question that meditation procedures differ. So obviously we notice that from science now that associated EEG patterns also differ. So we come to an inference that effects of different meditation practices should also differ. So let's see, put in your chat box yes or no. How many agrees that it should and how many says no? Or you can raise palms to say it makes sense. Yeah, different methods may not be the same. Very nice. So everybody seems to agree. So I haven't seen any no. Thank you. So more you participate in this, the more I'm going to be happy. Wonderful. Excellent. So now a lot of wonderful answers. So we come to the idea, I'll repeat again. Meditation procedures differ and associated EEG pattern differ. So effects from different meditation should also differ. So we take that. So then obviously it brings us to the comparing different meditation techniques which are used. So many meditation techniques are available today. Now, contrary to common belief, there are distinct differences between techniques as where the effort is involved into the practice or is it a effortless practice. That's the first marker. Second one is the impact on the brain, as we can see um, from the reality. So as a truth. So what happens really, not what we believe, but what we actually see, what changes happens into the brain in our physiology. And the third thing, what we look in the terms of the science is that verifiable outcomes and benefits. That means if this works here, it should work there. And then there is no difference in the outcomes. It's universally applicable and the same in all circumstances. So some common ground which is persistent. Now a study published into a journal of consciousness and cognition identified following three possible meditation categories, and they were based on the brainwave measurements and differences. So the first one is the concentration or focus, like Zen meditation, Vipassana, those type of techniques. Second one is the open monitoring, so which talks about the mindfulness, Kriya Yoga, all those type of techniques. And the third one is the self transcending, and that is what is called as transcendental meditation. So we'll be exploring what it means, the differences in these, and what really we talk about meditation when we say meditation into the science terms. So now our goal, as you know, from the yoga, so going from the lower to the higher level, from the higher conscious to the lower conscious, the connection. So this is the first method. This is the second method, and this is the third method. So we'll not go much into the depth of what these waves means. So those are the brain waves which are recorded at a specific states of mind or the consciousness. So as you see, for this presentation, we are just looking at three graphs and we are saying there is a big difference into how they look. Now, this is a slide from Mayo Clinic and it talks about three different categories as we discussed. And the transcendental states, as we see, manifest as fully effortless versus the mindfulness. You see the moderate effort involved from the brain, and in the concentration or focus, you have to have a lot of strong effort to work through it. Now, the EEG brain patterns, what we see, so the alpha waves, theta waves, and beta waves. So those who understand or from the science background, they will understand it more. And we take at the description. So the first one in the transcendental states, the state are defined as relaxed, happy, and focused. In the mindfulness states, it's more like dreamlike. And in the concentration or focus methods, it's logical thinking or problem solving. So you take a moment if you want to spend little more time, because this is the most crucial part, how we see the outcomes of different practices. Here is a more deeper description so that as you see in the first two methods, the mind is very active and is on the horizontal level versus the transcending, you are to the source, you are going to the root. So both of these practices, the focus attention and open monitoring, they keep us into the waking state or the wakeful state versus the self transcending is fully automatic and it creates a deep sense of relaxation. It also creates the EEG coherence as we already saw. We are going to see more. And this state, what we call it as restful alertness. So that means we are fully at rest, but same time we are fully awake, we are fully alert into the state. So now, as you see, the focus attention and open monitoring placed in the top chart, because they operate at the active level of the mind and they require some degree of mental effort. So what we learned into the characteristics, so the meditation should be natural and it should not require any effort. So the transcendental meditation technique or the automatic self transcending allows the mind to effortlessly and spontaneously settle down to quieter, subtle level to the experience of the silent mind, which is the fourth state of consciousness. So this is actually a study which is published into a journal. So going into the next one, so you know that silent mind means a transcendental consciousness, which is a very pure state, and that's when we experience the unbounded bliss. So here is a little bit more update on the brainwaves, what they interpret. So we also known from the EEG. EEG is a device which tracks the brain waves. So the transcendental meditation practice does not involve focus attention because it do not produce these beta and gamma waves into the brain, because which correlates of focusing versus the alpha EEG patterns associated with the transcendental states indicates a mind that is very restful but is fully awake. So you can see into this spectrum. So going into the next one, so if you want to check this one, so that high frequency EEG, the gamma waves, so shows that activity of cortical areas which are very near to each other and that is necessary for focus attention. Now the theta waves is EEG, they associate with inhibition of the sensory input which is necessary to reduce distractions during internal mental processing. Now the alpha waves, they are actually coherent and synchronized. They coordinate the activities of the cortical areas which are far apart, which is necessary for memory, comprehension, creativity, fine motor coordination, etc. So now this is a small chart which I got from some new publication. So that shows the benefits of coherent brain functioning, that it reflects on so many areas like increased inner orientation, improved neurological efficiency, increased moral reasoning and ability, increased creativity, increased intelligence, improved concept learning ability, improved grade point average, improve increase emotional stability, decrease state anxiety, decrease neuroticism, and so on. So many different benefits because of that coherence. So the Mayo Clinic describes the transcendental meditation as something which uses a mantra such as a word, sound, or a phrase repeatedly, silently to narrow your conscious awareness and eliminate all thoughts from your mind. You focus exclusively on your mantra to achieve a state of perfect stillness and consciousness. Now, this is the description from Maharishi Mahesh Yogi. So he said that any system that does transcend its emotional, intellectual, or perceptual activity will be transcendental meditation. Now here we look at the MRI, actually blood flow during the transcendental meditation. So the red areas we see on the scan there, it is actually the blood is flowing higher, it's more activity, versus the blue part you see, that's the lower part of the brain. So there is low activity. So as you know, the CEO of our brain is our prefrontal cortex, the forehead, where we call it the third eye, whatever people call it. So that's our boss. So most of the critical thinking, decision making abilities are run through these areas. So that's what happens during this process, that whole of our focus activity centralizes into this area. Now this is the EEG. So all these dots you see on the brain. So they are just the how the EEG leads are connected. And you can see three different states. And this is what you see in 5 seconds, how brain starts connecting with each other. Now in the second slide, after 30 seconds, so you see in the transcendental states, there is a full coherence, deep connection, versus in two other methods, it's not the same. In the gamma states, it's almost non-existent. So I'll go back in 5 seconds to 30 seconds. You see the change. So now we go to the next one. So these are the lot of studies which have been done before. So it shows that how transcendental states reduces the natural breathing rate. Then it also shows us how the deep rest happens during the transcendental meditation in comparison to the eyes closed rest, and then also monitoring certain things like plasma lactate. So these are some different analysis. I'm not going to go into the depth, but just to give you the idea how so many studies and things are available, which shows again and again that how the transcendental states have very high capacity to transform us into the normal states of our being, to wake up us into the full potential. So this one is on the effect on post-traumatic stress disorder. This is about trait anxiety, then the reduction of blood pressure, self-actualization, and then the difference between the just sitting with eyes closed versus the transcendental state. And then the same way, this is a meta study which was done to see 5 different meditation traditions, how it detected with lag coherence using EEG tomography to see initial rest versus final rest. So comparative studies, higher connectivity versus lower connectivity. So that's really the science behind it. So now we take a simple message from the tradition that when we smile, the whole world smiles with us. And then the happiness is in seeing what you have. And then also it creates a shift from working for happiness to actually working in happiness. So change in attitude make things happen for us. The Swami Paramahansa Yogananda, he said that practicing yoga poses just as an exercise or meditation just for relaxation is like building a new beautiful home and living on the porch. So that means we are given so many things in our lives. Provided we use them, then we will have nothing to lose, but we can enjoy the optimal 100% gifts we've been given by the nature to us. There is a small comic I found somewhere, and it says, but it's saying, where did you find that? I've been looking for it everywhere. Do we see ourselves into that question? And the person who is happy is saying, I created it myself. So meditation gives us the opportunity to generate it for ourselves because we have the ability to make it happen. So that's really bring us to the slideshow.